have a real hard time turning it off. And I don't know what it is. That wanting to hustle, the wanting to grind, wanting to work on my own stuff, wanting to be a better version of my former self, wanting to accomplish big things, wanting to work and do whatever it takes in order to get to the next level. I have a really hard time turning that off. And I don't know if this is an obsession with self-help or hustle culture or whatever it is. If I had to be honest, I don't think that it is a normal thing for people to want to be like this all the time. And I don't know if it's healthy or unhealthy. And I noticed this with this silly anecdote realization as I was walking back from the gym the other morning. I was in a hurry to get home so that I can shower and get to my computer so that I can start working on the next thing that I had in mind and start getting some code done and start planning some videos and start doing some things like that. And as I'm walking past this little green area, there's some birds that are kind of like flying and fighting and playing or whatever the hell they're doing. And, you know, I kind of see it and I chuckle. At the same time, I'm walking past an older man. He looked like he had to be pushing 80. And I noticed that as I'm walking by, I'm watching the old man look at the birds. And he takes his time with it. And his full attention is on the birds. He's smiling. He's enjoying the moment. He's maybe thinking about his childhood. Maybe he's thinking about how fun it is to just watch some birds play in the little park area on a nice morning during his walk. And it seemed like he had nothing else going on in his mind, in his time, in whatever, but to enjoy that moment and watch the birds play. It made me think, like, man, this old man is old. Like, he's probably gonna die in the next 5 or 10 years. Maybe. He looked pretty old. And he is able to not stress about how much time he has left in his day. And he's able to just take his time and appreciate something in nature that's fun or entertaining or beautiful, however you want to think of it that way. And this is just me thinking in my own head, but I noticed it. I noticed that I was in this rush to get home so that I can knock out A, B, C, and D. And I was already thinking about what I had to do for the next day. And I'm never able to be in the moment because I'm constantly worrying about what I need to do for all the things that I want to work on. And I think about, like, what's the magic that that old man had that I didn't? Maybe it's because he's older and he realizes that all those things that you worry about, that you try to work towards, that are on your mind, your to-do list, all those things aren't as important as taking a moment to stop and look at the birds. I don't know. But it had me thinking too, because just the day prior, we woke up early to go watch the sunrise on the beach. Me and my wife, we tried to wake up the kids early a couple days in a row, and we just kept missing the sunrise. So we were like, you know what? We're doing it. Doesn't matter. We're getting them up. We'll dress them the night before and we'll carry them until they realize that they're not in bed anymore. We're sitting on a beach in paradise with our kids and they're playing in the sand, and it's just a nice moment. But I couldn't help but to look at my watch and think about, like, all right, about 10 more minutes of this and I got to get moving. I got stuff to do. I got to start working on the next thing. It's somewhat sad that that's where I'm at. But like I said, I've always been like this. If it's not work, it's been my addiction to video games. I was the same exact way, where it was just like, if I wasn't playing the game that I wanted to be playing or looking forward to the next game that was coming out, I couldn't be in the moment. And I realized that with jiu-jitsu, When I got obsessed with jiu-jitsu, I would watch YouTube videos. I bought Jiu-Jitsu University, which is like the staple book that everyone buys when they first start out. I built a grappling dummy. I bought mats for my garage so that I can practice in my garage. I was trying to choke my wife out every chance that I got. Every friend I had, I tried to convince them to start going to jiu-jitsu. I was trying to grapple them whenever I could. And it was the same thing with learning to code, and then with YouTube, and now with whatever I'm doing right now. But I start to think like, man, when I used to not be able to turn it off, when it was for bad things, when it was for drugs, alcohol, video games, TV, whatever, nothing good came from that. But when I focused my energy and my attention towards things that were good, then I started to see big improvements in my life. And that's where I'm like, I don't know if this is unhealthy. And when I reflect and I think about the old man looking at the birds, and I think about myself right now, I feel like maybe I'll have time for that someday. But right now I have way too many things that I still want to accomplish. And I finally feel like I'm working towards a purpose and something that I really, really want to do. I finally got the website that I've been working on released, at least MVP'd, for what my wife and I's idea of for traveling families. I'm trying to think about what can I start selling or making or producing, or what can I do to start making more money so that I can continue living this lifestyle and I can actually try to replace my salary. And I'm just like, man, if this is the way I am and the way I'm gonna be, and I can't turn it off, as long as I remember to focus on the important moments, like when I'm hanging out with my wife and my kids, and if I focus it on things that are good, then hopefully things work out. I don't know, this philosophical bull that I'm on right now. Maybe it's ADHD, because everyone keeps telling me that this sounds a lot like ADHD, and I've talked to therapists, and I'm pretty much, I'm not officially diagnosed. I'm somewhat self-diagnosed, and maybe that's what my problem is. But nonetheless, there's some anecdotal self-reflection, philosophical nonsense from some crazy dude with too much going on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.